So, India are inching closer to a victory on day three of the second test between India and Bangladesh at Mirpur. It's been a fantastic performance from the Indian cricket team, and despite their mini collapse on day two yesterday, Bangladesh has struggled to cope with the discipline and also the accuracy with which the Indian bowlers have managed to peg them back. So, at lunch on day three of the second and final test, Bangladesh are 70 for 4, still trailing by 17 runs. And remember, towards the first hour of the day and during the last over before lunch, Bangladesh's chances of at least trying to force the game into the fourth day seem to have really taken a big hit because in the eighth over, with Bangladesh already having batted for 4 overs on day two, fourth day, if you have to look at it on the fourth over of the day, oh, I think we have a one more over coming up because it was said that it was already 11. So why on earth did Bangladesh have to bat one more session? I think because the time taken for Mushfiqur Rahim's dismissal just before lunch probably prompted one more over to be bowled. And so this is the last over that Jaidev Unadkat is bowling because just before the second last over before lunch, Aksar Patel dealt a big blow by removing Mushfiqur Rahim. And remember, Rahim's form in this series has been pretty woeful. So, if you have to sum up the overall situation at this point in time, the 87 run lead that India have is pretty decisive because at one point in time, Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant were ensuring that India were getting a lead of 150 or 180. It was the way with which they batted was simply magnificent. Rishabh Pant in particular, 7 4s and 5 6s. He really took the game away from Bangladesh and he was once again very unlucky to be dismissed in the 90s. Remember, he is suffering a bout of the nervous 90s for the last couple of months, if you have to say. Against England, he got dismissed a couple of times. Against Sri Lanka, he got dismissed in the 90s for a couple of times. And now, against Bangladesh, out for 93. Shreyas Iyer also looked good for a century, but unfortunately, he was also dismissed for 87. And India had lost 6 for 64 in the last session. We all thought Bangladesh had clawed back in a big way and they would have expected to bat well on the third day. Unfortunately, that did not happen. On the eighth over in this day, Nazmul Hossain Shanto was trapped LBW by Ravichandran Ashwin because it was a quicker slider from Ravichandran Ashwin. And because Shanto was on the back foot, he just could not work it out and he was trapped plumb in front. And the worst part about it was that Bangladesh lost a review as well. So Nazmul Hossain Shanto was priced out pretty cheaply. Then you had Mominul Haq, the top scorer from the first innings from Bangladesh. He tried to hang in there, but unfortunately, a superb ball from Mohammad Siraj had ensured that Mominul Haq was squared up, the outside edge flew to Rishabh Pant, and the catch was taken. And then Shakib Al Hasan. Once again, this time he did not play a bad shot, by the way. It was a good ball from Unadkat. It landed on a good length. He just got the ball to kick up from the deck, and also the pitch, it also stuck on the wicket a bit. So that is why Shakib Al Hasan just chipped it to cover where Shubman Gill took a very easy catch. And now, officially now it is the lunch break. Bangladesh are trailing by 16 runs and they have lost 4 wickets. These 4 wickets will be very decisive because Bangladesh would be hoping that they can at least get a lead of 100 or 150 on this deck in Mirpur. Because remember, it's getting a bit difficult to bat and a target in excess of 150 could prove to be tricky for the Indian batting lineup. But Bangladesh have no one to blame but themselves for being in this situation because you batted first and you had the best of the conditions on day one. You collapsed against Umesh Yadav and Ravichandran Ashwin. You lost 5 wickets for 14 runs. And that is why India dismissed them for 227. And remember, collapses in this test match have been pretty spectacular. 5 for 14 Bangladesh had lost. India lost 6 for 64. So India, chances of getting a lead for them in excess of 100, 150 took a big hit. Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant were unlucky to miss out on centuries. But if I have to look at the action today, just 62 runs were scored. And it was not easy going for Bangladesh because India bowled with tremendous discipline. And once again, the guy who stood out was Zakir Hasan. Zakir Hasan, remember, in that Chattogram test, managed to score a century. He became only the fourth Bangladeshi player and the first opener for Bangladesh to score a century on debut. So, this is how it is in the Bangladesh context. Once again, he was solid. He pounced on the loose balls and he maintained discipline. And he was very, very patient. So Zakir Hasan has really batted well. In fact, he is the top scorer with 37 at this point in time, out of the 71. More than half the runs have come off Zakir Hasan's bat. And the Indian bowling, if you have to look at it, well, KL Rahul has employed attacking fields also. He has ensured that the pressure is maintained. Because look, 87 runs, you would have ideally wanted the top five to be back in the pavilion on the first session. He's achieved that to a certain extent. Ravichandran Ashwin bowled really, really well. Mohammad Siraj and Aksar Patel dealing the crucial blow of getting Mushfiqur Rahim. And there'll be plenty of question marks over Rahim's future in the Bangladesh cricket team because Rahim has been a stalwart for close to 10-15 years in the Bangladesh team. You needed senior contributions from this side. And Shakib Al Hasan, although he hit 84, he will rue himself for playing two bad shots. One in the first innings in Chattogram and the second in Mirpur. Then, if you have to look at it, barring Mushfiqur Rahim and Shakib Al Hasan, there is nobody else to shore up that batting. Zakir Hasan has managed to do it. Mominul Haq tried in the first innings and he was looking pretty assured against the spin of Ashwin. He was also looking assured against the pacers. But where is the batting apart from these three? Zakir Hasan, you can count on him, but how much longer will you maintain that respect for Zakir Hasan? And how much longer will you maintain that faith in Zakir Hasan? That is the only problem that we have. Ashwin used his variations, but at most points of time, I think, yet again, he seemed to be missing his length a little bit frequently. Remember, Ashwin's line has not been a problem. His length has been an issue in this test series. He's either been too short or too full. But he's also ensured he's not gotten wickets by sheer turn. Turn has never been Ravichandran Ashwin's forte when you have to look at wickets. He has relied on variations in length. And the dismissal of Nazmul Hossain Shanto was a clear case of deceiving the batsman in the length. It was a quicker ball, but it landed on a slightly fuller length, slightly good length to a fuller length. And that is why Shanto on the back foot tried to work it to the onside, just missed it. And it was hitting middle and leg. So that is why Shanto's decision to play that on the back foot was a clear misjudgment of the length. And that is what Ashwin primarily relies upon. Aksar Patel, well, once again, bowl straight, bowl at the wickets. One or two mistakes will definitely happen. In the case of Mushfiqur Rahim, it did happen. India were also helped by the fact that they maintained attacking fields throughout. And the standout bowler for me in this match has been Umesh Yadav. Umesh Yadav yet again has shown that any kind of wicket that you give him, he will deliver the goods. He will maintain the pressure. Once he gets his line and length going, he is simply magnificent. Even here, in the first innings, Umesh Yadav had maintained the pressure throughout and he was under-bowled in Chattogram. So that is why now he is made up amends and taken 4 wickets. And that is why now Siraj has capitalized on that. And getting Mominul Haq was a body blow for Bangladesh because Mominul Haq was the only batsman who had ensured that Bangladesh could at least cross 200. Take out 227. Out of the 227, remove Mominul Haq's 87. What do you get? The remaining batsmen only made 140. That has been Bangladesh's major problem. 150 in Chattogram. Then, although they made 300 plus in the 4th innings, it was a lost cause anyways. And so, the problem for Bangladesh is their batting. And it has once again come to the fore here. They only managed 227 in the best batting conditions. And then they are now at 71 for 4, still trailing by 16 runs. And once they erase that deficit, they are already 4 or 5 down, which does not make their chances any better. I will take some questions at this point. Why should we waste Bumrah in Border Gavaskar Trophy? Mr. Raj is saying, why should we waste Bumrah in Border Gavaskar Trophy India pitch when we have Umesh, Shami, and Siraj? Mr. Raj, that's a pretty valid point. But again, look, you would want Jasprit Bumrah for the sheer X factor that he brings into the team. Agreed. Umesh, Siraj have gotten the ball to reverse swing, and especially Siraj has been a magnificent bowler in test matches for the last couple of years. But again, can you afford to drop Bumrah? And remember, Bumrah can be your X factor when India potentially head into the final of the World Test Championship that will be played in June at the Oval against Australia. And so, dropping Jasprit Bumrah for the India series, remember, that's a preview to the final. I think you would want to persist with Bumrah. Shami will be there. Maybe if the pitches give you assistance, if the pacers get assistance, then you can probably persist with three pacers, either of Umesh or Siraj. Shami will be there, definitely. Umesh slash Siraj. Who gets the ball to swing better? Because look, you're encountering three pitches out of the four, which will aid spin in a big way. Delhi, Jamta, Nagpur, and Ahmedabad. Three places where you can get spin. The only pitch where you may not want to play maybe two or more spinners is Dharamshala. Dharamshala can assist the pacers, and that's where Umesh, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, they can play along with Ravichandran Ashwin or Ravindra Jadeja, whoever is deemed fit in that composition. It's all a question of team composition, Mr. Raj. You have to understand that because there are far too many players for too few positions. That is the situation that the Indian cricket team is facing at this point in time. Saksham Sharma is asking me, Ashwin can open the ball and open a ball making company. His hands-on experience is more than anyone in the world in terms of overs bowled. Well, in Chattogram, he and Akshar Patel did bowl a lot of the overs, and Kuldeep Yadav was under bowled despite taking 8 wickets, and he was not picked in Mirpur. Now, is that Ashwin's fault that he's been overbowled? Maybe. But I think KL Rahul and the team management have much more faith in Ravichandran Ashwin than with any of the other pacers or the spinners. I'll tell you why. Ashwin has been an integral part of the Indian Test cricket team for the last 11 years, ever since 2011. He's won you games in India, he's won you games in the subcontinent. Yes, his Sena record is not that great, but he can still make an impact. Remember, in that 2020-2021 series that India played in Australia, he had the wood over Steve Smith. Now, primarily, team management would have been wanting him to say, okay, this is your role. Ensure Steve Smith is gone cheaply. He did that in 3 out of the 4 tests. So, Ashwin, yes, he has, as I said, line has not been an issue. Length has been an issue for Ashwin. But coming to India, perhaps he can replicate his 2013-14 or even 16-17-18 form where he regularly ran through opponents. And this is where Australia will be facing a major, major problem. I am also praising him to have ability to bowl these long spells many times. He bowled whole session. Yes, I mean, I think it's probably a testament to Ravichandran Ashwin that his fitness might have improved. Probably I'm just saying that. But what are the Indian cricket team fans judging Ravichandran Ashwin on? Are you judging him on the overs bowled? Are you judging him on the wickets? Are you judging him on fitness? What are you judging Ravichandran Ashwin on? What do you want Ravichandran Ashwin to do essentially? Make way, play well so that he gets wickets on a consistent basis? What is that? So, Ravichandran Ashwin, it's probably, he is getting into the groove heading into the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And so, Gautam Ramesh is saying, this test series is a good preparation for Aussies in subcontinent condition. Hope Dravid and co are making plans for Smith, Marnus and Clough like the leg side trap in 2021. Of course, they will be making plans. But remember, Steve Smith has been a beast when it comes to the Asian subcontinent. I mean, who can forget his masterclass in 2017? That knock in Pune, the one that he played in Ranchi and the other one that he played in Dharamshala, all in varying conditions. He was simply one of the best. And that is why I thought the year 2014 to 2017, those years were the defining moment of Steve Smith as one of the greatest test players. Gave very tough competition to Virat Kohli. So that is why now it's like very, very awesome. So let me just take some more questions at this point in time. Over bowling Ashwin, King D, yes, a lot of concerns have been raised that KL Rahul and the team manager were probably over bowling Ashwin before the Border Gavaskar Trophy. But then remember, when does the Border Gavaskar Trophy start? February. In Ashwin might not feature in the white ball tests, white ball matches that will be played against Sri Lanka and New Zealand. So why would you want to raise an objection that Ashwin is over bowling? Maybe he is building the pressure. That pressure is allowing the likes of Siraj and Aksar to feed on the other Bangladeshi players, and so that is why. Now, Indian batsmen used to play spin with their eyes closed. What happened now? King D with another question. Well, very interesting question. I mean, why are India not able to play quality spin? I think it all comes down to the domestic system as to what are the priorities. Remember, after India were hammered 0-4 in England and Australia, there was a demand that Indian pitches here, the pitches that are used all over in the Ranji Trophy, the Vijay Hazare and the Syed Mushtaq Ali, more so in the Ranji Trophy, the demand was there had to be grass on the wicket. There had to be bounce, there had to be movement so that you could prepare for the Sena countries. That, unfortunately, if you have to look at it, has had a reverse effect. There are a lot of green pitches being built, but your dust bowls have vanished. Except in the south, okay? Except in the south where there are dust bowls. So your Chepauk is a dust bowl. You can play spin there. You can play spin in Ahmedabad also. But apart from that, up in the north where you have grounds in Uttar Pradesh, you have grounds in Haryana, you have grounds in most parts, even in Mohali, Chandigarh, there are very few spin assisting wickets there. There's all pace assisting wickets. So over a course of a generation, over a course of a decade, players have not gotten used to the spin. And so that is why I think this is the prime reason why Indian batsmen nowadays are struggling against spin. Well, it had to happen. Once you dominate something, then after that you just fall aside. That's how it is. Mr. Not dropping Bumrah, but saving him for World Cup 2023. But then again, see, Mr. Raj, if you have to rest Bumrah, you have to rest him in the IPL. Is that happening? No, it's not happening. You have to preserve Jasprit Bumrah because, see, he will play Sri Lanka and New Zealand. He can also play the Border Gavaskar Trophy and the IPL. Now it's a catch-22 situation. Either Bumrah plays Sri Lanka to get back into rhythm, miss New Zealand. Plays a couple of tests in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and then maybe if India won the series, he's rested. He is going to, there are total 9 ODIs before the IPL. 3 against Sri Lanka, 3 against New Zealand, 3 against Australia. You may want to play 5 or 6 of those ODIs. Skip the T20Is altogether. Let Bumrah miss the T20Is against Sri Lanka and New Zealand. Play him only in the ODIs. Then, if India win the Test series against Australia, then probably then, you can preserve him. Because he's not getting rested in the IPL at all. April to June, you are really going to see Bumrah full tilt for the Mumbai Indians. After that, July to October, would you want to rest Bumrah? That is a big question. So, Delhi can be dust bowl. Yes, Jatin Hans agreed. Thanks, Yuk Parmar, for all the compliments that you're giving. And what? Thanks, Meet Soni, for the compliment. How much target Bangladesh plan to get at the end of the Uttam Sutar? They'll be lucky if they can give India a target of 100. They'll be really lucky. Ideally, 150, 200. That should be the range. But Bangladesh have lost 4 wickets. What do you do then? Bangladesh will be really lucky if they can give India a target of 100. That's what I will say. And any further questions? Should they make Pant Test captain, need a permanent captain? King D, I think I'll wait for the end of the World Test Championship final to ensure that a permanent Test captain is there. I think we'll have to wait for the end of the World Test Championship final. And Uttam, KD Rajput, Bumrah will get injured before World Cup. I hope not. I really hope not. So, Manikant, Siraj, Umesh, Malik play matches till World Cup and tournament. Other bowlers will play. Manikant Reddy, once again, very difficult to analyze. What do this Indian cricket team want to do? I just don't know. Okay, so analyzing this Indian cricket team and their composition is much difficult than playing a game of chess. So, that is how it is. Nikhil Charan Parahi, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that comment on Ashwin now. So, thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back for the tea session, and we hope that India can make further inroads. Let's hope Bangladesh can put up a fight, and subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Press that like, comment, and share button, and don't forget to tap that bell icon so that you know when we go live. Thank you. Bye bye. Vanakkam.